Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Nate, UniqueSupplyUSA.com, Unique Supply, Industrial Supplier, Industry Solutions, call it us, U.S. Today I'm going to be doing a little instructional video on how to use our A.I.R.O Composites pipe leak repair kit. As you can see, I have a little demo set up here. I've got a splash shield in front so the camera doesn't get full of water, and neither do I. We do have 3 different size kits. Right here you'll see a 6-inch wide by 30-foot long kit. Here is a 4-inch wide by 15-foot long kit. And we also have a 2-inch wide by 15-foot long kit. Our kits come at least 3 feet longer, in some cases 5 feet longer than most other kits on the market. And I explain the reason as to why that is. Try to point out some of the differences between ours and others. But what I really want to do here is just show you how to use it. So I'll use this 4-inch kit here. So as you can see, it comes with a detailed set of instructions. These are important, so please read them if you get a kit and if you're not familiar with it or haven't used it before. We have a kind of a competitive product comparison on the back, and we have install procedures on the bottom side here for active leaks. We also have install procedures for non-active leaks as well. On the front, you'll see our technical data sheet with all of our information, everything that the wrap entails, and the kit itself, including the buddy stick, the gloves, and the woven fabric, the shear strength, all the different properties that the wrap possesses. So you'll take that up first. Next thing you'll see in the kit is some heavy duty gloves. So these are 12 mils thick. As you can see, I'm leaving my watch on. I'm not really too worried about getting it messed up because not only are these heavy duty gloves, but they're also cuffed. You can see just from getting a pretty good stretch on there that some of the other ones you may break them. In some of the other kits, they're usually 4 to 6 mils. So we went and spent a little bit more money on the glove to give you a better glove. We made it cuffed because anybody that's dealt with these before understands that if you're to get that urethane resin on your FRCs, your sleeves, or your clothing, it's pretty hard to get off. And we know that FRCs are not cheap, and nobody wants to ruin the cuffs on their shirts either. So we did a 12 mil heavy duty cuff glove. You only need 1 pair. They work really well. The next thing you'll see in the pack, this is the water that comes with the kit that is actually used to set the wrap off or to activate the water activated wrap. On top of the water bottle, there is some sandpaper for prep. So obviously the bigger the kit, the bigger the water, the longer the sandpaper. You'll see a putty stick. This is a 2-part steel stick, regular 2-part putty. Going to use that to actually as a plug or to fill in any really thinning wall or defects on your piping system. Every one of our kits comes with this large putty stick. So you don't get a piece of a putty stick, you get the entire thing. They all come in this tube. So if you don't need to use the whole thing for any one particular leak, then you cap off it, put it back in the tube, cap off the tube, and you can use it on something else. This is an added benefit to our kit. And we, rather than make a smaller putty stick for a smaller kit, we said, hey, let's add value and just give them the big putty stick with every kit. Well, with that being said, what I would start off doing is taking everything out of the bag. So obviously here's the wrap itself. On the bag, you'll actually see the size. It'll have QC with either mine or one of 2 other people's initials, saying that we actually either packaged it and or quality controlled that particular lot, so that you know you're getting quality product. They'll have an initial on there as well as the size and the time and date stamp. Every one of our packages come with a thank you for supporting our business sticker, because without you we wouldn't exist. One thing I really like about our kit is the actual packaging doubles as the bucket or the container to actually use to activate the wrap. Same thing with the 6-inch kit. The 2-inch as well comes in this gold package. As you can see, there's a hole punch here. We have some contractors that use our kits for pipe repairs whether they're on scaffolding, hanging from rope access, tight spots, up on top of a pipe rack. They can take this and actually clip it on their lanyard, or clip it on their work belt, and they can bring it to the job site and actually have everything that they need to perform the leak repair inside of the bag. With that being said, first thing that you do is take everything out of the bag. You'll take your piece of putty. For this, this leak here, I probably won't need a huge amount of putty, so I'll use a piece about this big. First thing I would do, take my sandpaper out, and I'll kick this on so it'll actually be leaking, but I wanted to be able to talk and y'all be able to hear me prior to the pump coming on. So obviously if it was actively leaking, I could still sand it like this, especially if it was just water. But that's what your sandpaper's for. You need to knock off anything that's already flaking off, any scaling rust, anything that's falling off, whether it's paint, coating, rust. You want to get it as clean as possible. It doesn't have to be a bare metal blast like you would for an epoxy, because it's a urethane, and the urethane is going to expand after an exothermic reaction. So the surface prep doesn't have to be quite as extensive as if it were an epoxy resin or a coating for that matter. It'll expand inwards and fill in those voids in the defect. Another thing too is you're not making a patch, you're actually gaining hoop strength because you're going to be wrapping around the pipe. So you're going to get axial strength, hoop strength from going around, and the wrap itself is going to bond to itself, and the substrate underneath it will then be filled in with resin. Good example of this is sometimes I put change, quarters, nickels, dimes on a larger pipe, and I'll wrap the change up with the wrap, and then I'll cut it off. And you'll see the change on the inside is actually flush with the wrap, the inner layer of the wrap, because of how the resin expanded around the quarters, nickels, dimes. It gives you a good visual of what the resin's actually doing underneath there. So you'll take your water, and some people say, hey, we have water on site, we have buckets, we have a hose nearby. It's still a water, so you can drink it if you don't want to use it in the kit. But basically you pour it into the bag. I would set this on the side, take my 2-part putty, start kneading that together. Want to get that to where it's uniform in color. So it's black on the inside, gray on the outside. You want it until it's all uniform dark gray. And you have about 3 to 5 minutes with the putty. So not a whole lot of time, but good working time. I wouldn't use it until I was about to start with the leak. There's a couple of different ways to use it as a plug that I'll explain going forward. You know, we do for active leaks have people that want to use a strip of rubber, whether it's a piece of rubber sheet, piece of gasket, anything that you can kind of put in between there until the wrap cures to stop the leak that's usable and compatible with the media and the pipe. Good to use. This comes with the kit. This is what we recommend. We have a lot of customers that use another product that we sell. That's right here on your right. It is a silicone tape. It takes 450 degrees, 40 mil thick, triangular shape. Can stretch 3 to 4 times its original length. It's paired with the silicone putty self-fusing. And we seal a lot of leaks with that, and then we come back over it with our hard shell wrap just to protect it. So you'll do that, you'll knead it into a ball. My hole is actually right here, you'll see it in a second. Set that on the side. So now I got my wrap. You'll see 2 little notches on the front. This is a hermetically sealed package. Anytime, as soon as you open this, the cure process is going to start, especially down in South Louisiana. All of the humidity in the air will set off this wrap. So with that being said, let me turn on the actual pump. Let's see if I can get a little bit better leak coming out of there a little harder. Alright. So I'll take my wrap. I'll actually open it up here. All of our wraps are black in color, so they look nice and pretty on the pipe. They don't make for an eyesore. You take it, stick it in your wrap. Having a clear front's pretty good. You can either do it from the outside or from the inside. I like to do it from You want to stick it in the water. You want to give it about, 5 or 6 good squeezes, 10 seconds or so. Start to get it to activate. This is where the length of our rolls kind of comes in. So I have this putty sticking here, my hole's right there. We kind of place that above the hole. Now with ours, you want to wrap circumferentially around the defect, and it doesn't really matter what size pipe you use, the right size kit with the right size pipe. Circumferentially around the defect, next to the defect, around the pipe next to the defect. The reason that you're doing that is so you have tension to pull as you're pulling into the defect area. So it's up, you can either push the putty into the wrap like this, hopefully you get it right to where it folds over, or you can put it on top of the piping system and have it roll right over into the hole. So what I'll do is I'll be pulling towards me. Kind of got it in the hole there. Now you can worm it. You can kind of rope it when it gets to this point. You get some real pull on it. It's a pretty substantial leak coming out of there. You want to pull it into the defect area. You want to pull tight. The one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to pull the plug off the hole. Okay? You want to make sure you have it sealed prior to unrolling the remainder of the wrap. You want to pull tight. This is a woven material. It's a special weave, so you can definitely pull tight without ripping the product. It is not a knit product. It is a very strong fabric, very thick. You'll actually feel a little bit of heat because it is an exothermic reaction. So not too much to where you can't touch it, but you definitely feel that it's working. You want to keep going around, 15 foot long, so you got a bunch of layers on there to give you added protection, basically building the wall thickness back on your original pipe. You can take 1,000 psi or better easily with this particular product, especially depending on the number of layers that you have. You'll actually see it foaming. The foaming is a good thing. That's that resin expanding. Got to work pretty quickly with it. You only have about 3 minutes, and that also depends on the outside temperature and whether you're in direct sunlight. So a few different factors on exactly how long you have. You'll kind of know and feel it when you're starting to set up. I'm getting really tacky right about now. Probably because I'm talking and not working, but I got it on. So the more water, the better. You can use any water. You can use rainwater. You can use, up north, they use antifreeze because they're trying to do it in freezing conditions. You can always come back over it with your bag, add some water, make sure you set it off, and make sure everything's activated nice and neat. Kind of finish it a little bit right at this point. It's really tacky. I can actually take my glove off, not get any resin on my hand. That's definitely a little different than some of your other kits out there. Some of them, you open them up and you're basically pouring resin, not only all over your hands or all over your clothes, but all over the pipe racks and other pipes as well. So I can really start feeling some heat there. Definitely have a pretty repair. You can see I'm no longer leaking, not a single drip. I haven't turned my pump off, so everything's still on. I can easily show you that if I were to cut it off. But there you go. So basically, take out the instructions, read the instructions. The kit doubles as the bucket. You want to use your putty stick that's going on your leak point. Prep your pipe first, get a good enough surface, as good as you can. Because it's longer, you want to start next to it so you can have tension on the pipe. So when you go to pull over the defect, you're not rolling off. You already have that tension to be able to pull that putty into the hole. After that, you want to wrap circumferentially quickly. You got, like I said, 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to harden up, and there you go. Now your pipe's fixed. So, every leak is different, so it's hard to say exactly what our repair method would be on each leak, but we are available for support. We've done a lot of different leaks on a lot of different size piping, on a lot of different transitions, whether it be T's or elbows or threading. We have a great deal of experience. We have plenty of contractors that actually use our product on a daily basis, and that's all they do is seal leaks with it. So we sell thousands of these rolls strictly for leak repair all across the country. We're confident in the product. We know that it's cost effective. We know that it can save you downtime. And we're really looking forward to helping support you and getting this product in your hands so that you can stop some of the leaks in your facilities. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, 504-439-3214. You can go on our website, uniquesupplyusa.com. An email is nate@uniquesupplyusa.com, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours, and I'll help you in any way that I can. We have an entire experienced team, and so we look forward to working with you, and thank you for your time.